And here we are on Entombed Valley, and down in the bottom left we have our green Protoss player from the team mouz Esports, a very talented Protoss player, one of my favorite European Protosses probably. It is MaNa. And there's Sheth up at the top of the map in the purple, our Zerg player from Team Liquid. He won game 1 with a good, have fun, good luck dude. It is, again, Liquid Sheth.
Yeah, you mentioned MaNa's one of your favorite players. He's been one of my favorites since IPL2 when he finished 3rd after a crazy run in the lower bracket. But, you know, he has a really, really unique style. He was like one of the first players that started that 2-base Blink Stalkers into Expand against Zerg. And I remember very, very famously he beat Idra in IPL2 using that strategy. And since then, you know, his PvZ has been really, really strong. He actually had a little rivalry going with Nerchio where they would go back and forth, you know, trying to figure out ways to get past that. So I'm curious if he's going to do that same Blink Stalker style against Zerg, or if he's evolved his style a little bit since then. Well,
anyone who practices constantly with Nerchio is probably going to have pretty good PvZ. Nerchio is certainly one of the best Zergs in all of Europe. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what mouz.MaNa has planned. It looks like he's planning on putting down something here, and that something is going to be a forge. So will he try to do maybe some cannon and pylon action at his opponent's natural expansion in the 3rd, or will he just go ahead and harass a little bit with the probe and then just kind of pull back, play a little bit more economical style? Sheth, though, looks like he's ready to send that drone down. Doesn't have enough for the hatchery. Again, you know, this is just to kind of get there and harass the probe early on.
Did MaNa miss the drone?
And he may have. Wow. Oh, barely gets the probe down in time. Yeah.
That would have been like a pretty big mistake to just let him have the hatchery there. But yeah, it looks like he'll delay it here, put down the pylon. And this is very, very close to the first game. We'll see if Sheth reacts the same way and tries to go for the 3rd. But it looks like MaNa is playing it smarter. He's keeping that probe glued to the drone.
Yep, that's what you have to do. Oh, he decides to turn around. Okay.
Well, it looks like, oh, and he cancels the pylon too, so that's actually good. Yeah, and there's the very, very important gateway, especially on this map, with even wider choke than on Metropolis.
Yeah, well, we saw, you know, just how Sheth took advantage of the fact that Protoss won't have a lot of defenses early on if they do go for that big, you know, heavy pylon block style. So he's not going to let it happen to him this game. He's going to make Sheth take his natural, kind of an awkward spot, especially on this map, and then he's just going to go ahead and cancel the other pylon so he can get his wall down. I think brilliant move by MaNa there.
Yeah, and that's really, really far to extend creep all the way to the 3rd.
Oh, yeah,
whereas
extremely
on Metropolis, it's still far, but it's not that far, and you have to go through rocks if you want to make it fast. So
this is a map where when I get it on ladder, when I'm playing a ZVPM, I was like, oh, great. Yeah. Here we go.
You know, it's a lot like Taldrum in that aspect where you have to go so far from your main to your 3rd.
Yeah. But here's one thing that Sheth does have in his favor. He wasn't really, wasn't phased at all by the situation. Only made 4 lings rather than the 8 that he had before. So he is going to have a couple more drones early on. But man, just this poor queen. This queen is a real victim of all this, you know.
She's got to hike uphill both ways,
She has to walk all the way from the main to the natural. That's a long walk. She's really getting tired. You can tell.
Oh, but, you know.
Good timing, though. Look at that. She gets her right as the hatchery finishes. It's pretty awesome.
He is doing standard Chef styles, I say. 3 base fast before layer, get up to about 60 drones and see what his opponent's doing. Looks like MaNa's doing a very, very, very fast +1. So I would expect some pretty strong Zealot aggression out of this, you know, or maybe a timing on +2, because that is an extremely fast +1. I think he used like his first 150 gas just to get +1 immediately.
Yeah, well, I mean, you see both of those things fairly commonly. This actually isn't a terribly long rush distance to go from here to here. So you can just actually make some Zealots and send them across the map and kind of make Zerg produce a few more units than they want to. A lot of Zergs, as Sheth is demonstrating, won't really have spines down anywhere at this point, too. So it is a possibility for MaNa to maybe send a couple Zealots across the map once his Warp Gate research finishes. Just sending a Stalker right now. Otherwise, I think +2 would be a very valid option as well. Although, with +2, if you're going like +2 Blink Stalker, I think normally you'd see the 3rd and 4th gas by now.
Yeah, so I'm a little curious because he's still sitting on, basically he's going to be at 3 gates with 1 gas. It's a little bit of a slow, okay, now he's added 4th gate, so Okay. A big thing that pros have been doing recently is getting, instead of the 6 or 7 gate pushes that they used to do, it's kind of like a half push where it's a 4 or 5 gate push while you're expanding your third, and that's what it looks like MaNa's going to be doing here.
Well, that's how a lot of ProDOS strategies kind of evolve. You know, they start out with these heavy 2-base builds that are really all in, really aggressive, and then kind of scale back from that. You know, we've seen it a lot in even PvP. We can even use as an example where you originally had the 4-gate all the time. And now you just have that 3-gate pressure in a lot of occasions, and then going into an expansion or other tech. So that kind of tends to be how ProDOS strategies have kind of evolved over time.
This is going to be a really nice timing. His gateways and his warp gates are finished, his pylon's going, so he's going to have this 5-gate pressure, and if he wants to, he can pretty easily take the third while he's doing the push. You see Sheth, he's right with that timing. He's got 8 roaches popping out. His link speed's going to be a little bit late, though, so that might impact him negatively. He still doesn't have any spine crawlers, as you noted before.
Yeah, that's right, and no upgrades as well. Usually when you go for this thing, you want to try to get plus 1 care pace as well.
This could do a lot of damage if Sheth's not careful.
I think you're right. I think Sheth may be in a little bit of trouble here. He has some roaches, but his Zerglings are actually very far out of position, all the way on the other side of the map. Sheth, though, you know, with the lings and the roaches, he may have enough to push this back for just a moment anyway.
Okay, it looks like MaNa's just like, okay, he has enough units. Oh, big mistake. He's going to let a few lings in. Oh, 5 get in, but that's not going to do too much damage. That could have been a lot worse.
Not going to do a lot of damage, but it does cause MaNa rather to warp in at home instead of at Sheth's base, which is exactly what Sheth wants. He's going to go ahead and send a lot of units across the map. Now, look at that. Didn't really lose anything. In fact, he only lost about 3 drones total this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not in bad shape at all. Don't know if he's going to be able to really get in here and do any damage with it, but it looks like he's going to try. This is a little bit risky, though.
Yeah, I don't want to see Sheth overcommit to this because he did do a good job with the hold, and he's going to kill the pylon that MaNa had, but he doesn't want to get this army force fielded away. There's 4 sentries there, and okay, good, he's going to back up. Yeah. But now MaNa's going to have to he's going to have to expand quickly because now Sheth is getting his lair. He has 3 base. He has a lot of drones. He's going to have to, do some, be a playmaker. He has to make a play here. He can't just sit back and let Sheth dictate the game.
Well, he's trying. I mean, he kills... Yes. Oh, nope. Okay, there we go. He kills a pylon, but other than that, really not doing a lot of damage. He does manage to supply block MaNa in a pretty big way because, remember, he killed the pylon up here as well. So that's going to help a lot. Sheth already about 40 supply up, and he's going to be able to really increase this lead. Unfortunately for him, he is a little bit supply blocked himself as well, but overall, I think Sheth is still in a pretty good position. I just would really like to see him move these roaches back. I mean, you can't run these roaches away from stalkers, and if it comes to that situation, Sheth's going to really wish he hadn't left them so far forward.
Yeah, and MaNa's, he's getting immortals at this point. He's getting armor, so it looks like he's going to try to do some kind of a push with immortals while Sheth is still only at roaches before he has infestors or anything higher tech, because when you have that sentry stalker immortal, it does really well against these right now unupgraded roaches without burrow, without movement, without upgrades. So they're on their way, but I think MaNa's going to get up to 2 or 3 immortals before he decides to push, and that could do a lot of damage if Sheth still doesn't have his upgrades ready.
Yeah, the 2 immortal push, the 3 immortal push, so good against Ling.
Yeah, that's a lot of sentries too. Look at that.
Yeah, he's also getting a warp prism as well, which is going to be a warp-in solution that Sheth is not going to be able to deal with unless he has queens there, because roaches and Lings certainly cannot jump up. So yeah, this is going to be a big-time 2-base timing from our ProDOS player. It looks like we have Zealot scouting out the 3rd base location just in case here, but...
Ooh, look at MaNa's movement. That is very smart. He's going around the watchtower. He's going to bring the warp prism that way so he can warp in. And what I'm going to be really curious about, that's going to be key, is that Sheth is getting burrow, and MaNa does not have an observer with his army. So if he doesn't get an observer over there, he's not going to be able to kill a lot of roaches. Sheth, however, he is being even smarter. He's flanked completely around, and now he's going towards MaNa's base that doesn't have any units at it.
Yep, and looks like he will be able to catch some units ahead. Oh, but he sees the warp prism. That is a big deal, too. He's going to know what's coming, deciding not to turn around those roaches there, and it looks like, oh, he does turn around the roaches. Okay, he knows there's no
MaNa's
3rd.
Going up for the engage.
Yep, and 2 immortals is going to make this very, very strong.
Oh, he missed force field there. If he would have closed that, he would have killed all those roaches. Still pretty decent force field, closing the roaches out. Oh, wow, drones coming off the line.
They have to, man. I mean, he has to do something to give his roaches time, but look at this. Roaches and Lings coming in from all sides. And it doesn't look like MaNa's going to have enough. Yeah, saving his 2 immortals. Good idea there.
Very nice. Get out. Yeah. Because Sheth has so many roaches there, there's no way to beat that. And at this point, MaNa's in a lot of trouble because he doesn't have his 3rd. He's down almost 100 supply at this point. He's just going to have to go with what he has and try to hold that 3rd somehow.
He almost killed the Zealot. Yeah. Poor Zealot. He's behind the tree right now. I would hide too if my Stalker tried to shoot me. That's right. Well, Sheth putting down the infestation pit now, but he's already almost maxed out, so any tech switch is going to be a little bit more difficult to perform, but he does have a very strong Roach army bearing down on his opponent, but decides to turn around. Okay, so deciding to play things a little bit more defensively, I guess, taking that 4th base. But, you know, overall, I mean, Sheth, he's been holding off attacks all right, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like he's been a little bit too indecisive with his army so far,
he's
you know?
up, he's back. All right, he's just
I don't know about this.
He has burrow movement, and it looks like still MaNa does not have an observer with his army.
No, he doesn't. He does not have an observer with this army here.
Okay, he's finally just building one now. I think he saw the burrow upgrade on the roaches, and so he's like, oh, whoops.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
He's also got a Twilight Council on the way as well. Sheth running up to try to deny a 3rd, but there is no 3rd there quite yet. Sheth getting up there without... Oh, wow, he barely escapes. Doesn't get force fielded.
Done quite a bit. Even with burrow, it still would have taken a while to get out. Meanwhile, Sheth, he's going for Hive, he's going for Spire, so we're going to have Broodlords coming to replace the Roaches when the Roaches die off a 200 supply. And even if MaNa manages to hold this next wave of Roaches, he's going to have to trade really, really well in order to be able to stand up to the Broodlords. He's going to either need Templar or Colossus very shortly after this engagement, or he's going to, you know, just Blink Stock our Mortal is not going to be able to hold off.
Well, his 3rd is just so late that it's all he can afford right now. He can't even think about getting any more tech or really even focusing on upgrades a whole lot until he's able to get this 3rd solidly up and running here. How many probes does he have as well? 53 probes, so he is going to start to make some more, and he is doing that right now. So that should be fine. Looks like a little bit more War Prism harass coming from MaNa.
Yeah. We'll see if this is successful. It looks like Sheth is waiting for it, though. Yeah. I don't know if he spotted that somewhere, but it's not going to do anything.
Yeah, well, he knows there's a Warp Prism out on the field, so...
Oh, MaNa, be careful, Spore Crawler, that's going to be end of that.
Yeah, pretty much. The Warp Prism harass is not really going to work well at all. No defenses here, but that is going to be a place Sheth will be able to reinforce a little bit earlier than this 4th base, or a little bit easier, rather, I should say.
All right, so MaNa's going for Stargate also, which is smart, because he has to know at this point the Broodlords are coming, and his only solution really is to try to go for Void Rays or Phoenixes if he opts for that route. It's usually Void Rays. And he's going to have to get rid of some of these Roaches just so he won't have to completely camp his 3rd. Oh, nice bundle there, though.
Wow, and the Zealot's getting dropped off, but the War Prism does go down. The Zealots, though, trying to get the Infestor.
He gets one.
He does get one. He's going to get maybe a Roach or 2 as well. And it looks like a fight from Diablo 3 right now. He's just kiting.
Yeah, it looks like MaNa managed to push off Sheth's army, so MaNa actually did take his 4th while this was going on, because Sheth was a little distracted. He didn't want to engage into the force fields. But Sheth is being smart with these Roaches, just kind of keeping MaNa honest. Oh, and he's looking like he's going to go up the ramp and get in.
He might, and there's an Immortal there kind of by itself. Oh, here come the Stalkers.
Wow.
He does kill it, but he's going to have to sacrifice all these Roaches to do that as well. Sheth doing even more damage, going into the main, trying to kill as much as he can, but will it be worth it? That's the big question.
Oh, wow, he might kill that fleet beacon that's coming in, too.
He could potentially.
Yeah. Oh, wow, that's kind of a mistake, because that would have put MaNa back a lot. That takes a while to build, and it takes a lot of resources.
Yep. Now, Sheth does have 2 Broodlords on the way, more Corruptors on the way as well, but after losing these Roaches, he will have to worry to a certain extent about a counterattack in this situation.
Yeah, because all of his supply is being built, his Broodlords now. While he did kill some probes, he killed some tech, this can leave you really vulnerable when you just engage with all your Roaches like that. Yeah,
no kidding. Well, he does still have some Lings on the field for a little bit of scouting, try to maybe intercept probes and potentially cancel 4th bases. No cancel on that one. It does finish in time.
We'll see.
Sheth is going to do a little bit of damage to it.
Yeah, MaNa's going to have to do this quick. Those Lings can actually kill the Nexus. He needs to kill those Lings really, really fast.
He is killing them really fast.
Yeah.
Yep, he's definitely doing the trick there. More Lings coming down for Sheth. He needs to be careful. When you get in this situation, it's tempting to just make a ton of Lings because you can get into their base and do damage here and there. But
it's going to be close.
Oh, he does get in. So Sheth, you know, I feel, though, that this is another situation where he really needs to do damage. If not, it's just a bunch of larvae that he wasted.
All right, so it looks like he's going to try to snipe the Nexus, and the Natural looks like he's killing probes. I think he's going to get that next. Oh, look at all the
that's a lot of dead probes. No kidding. Some being transferred away. This Nexus, will it go down? Getting so
and that
low.
was building the mothership too. He had to cancel it. Now he has to rebuild the mothership somewhere else. That Nexus isn't down, but it almost is down. He can kill that on the next run by.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, wow. This is great harass by Sheth here.
Yeah, he's just going to target the Nexus. I mean, there's nothing that he can do about it. Wow. Oh, no way! 18 hit
hit
points.
Wow.
It survives, but all he needs to do is to send one Ling down to just tap that lightly, and it'll go down, and that could be another little advantage for Liquid Sheth. He does have 5 bases on the way, or 5 bases finished, rather.
Cracklings on the way as well.
Plenty of Brood Lords, man. That is actually
on the way.
10.
Wow,
10 Brood Lords
and how many Infestors?
7 Infestors.
That's like the perfect Zerg army there. Corruptors
it's not bad.
And then if he wants to, he can just remax with Lings or Roaches after he trades. And Mana does not have the economy to keep up after all of that good Ling harass.
Well, Sheth is just in another great position here in this game. I mean, he's got a great composition. All he needs to do is control well, get good fungal growths, and he should be able to win this game, kind of causing the army to be a bit distracted here as he brings in Lings from behind.
Mana does have Archons, though, so he can hold this off, but it's going to depend. The Mothership will help a little bit, but he's not going to have a Vortex to force back the Brood Lords.
And there goes the Nexus right now, and where are the Fungals from the Infestors? We also do have Zerglings in the main, but the big fight is right here. Brood Lords coming in.
He killed all of the Infestors pretty much.
Yep, a couple of them left, and will that be enough Stalkers to handle the Brood Lords? That's the question. It's going to be so close, but I think... Oh, but the Archons come in as well, doing extra damage to Biological, and Sheth is not going to have enough to win this fight.
But however, while that was going on, Sheth sent his Lings in the main. He killed the Fleet Beacon. He killed a few more production structures.
Wow, but at what cost, man?
Yeah,
he lost
his
so much.
Army, and he's just now reeling Corruptors. All right, Mana needs to go, and he knows it.
Like, yeah, he's way down of supply.
He's got to put the Nexus up. He needs to take 2 Nexus if he can, and he just needs to try to attack because Sheth's sitting on 6 bases right now.
A lot more Brood Lords on the way as well. This base being taken out, but I almost feel like Mana should just ignore it at this point. This isn't really doing anything for Sheth. He's going for it, though. Sheth with another Ling counterattack.
Oh, let's see. He might actually get another Nexus here. Oh, nice warp in.
Yeah, good block.
I don't know if this is going to do enough. Oh, wow. Sheth actually is going to... Oh, yeah, they're crackling. So, yeah, they're going to do a lot more damage now.
Yep.
Oh,
the Templar.
Okay.
Oh, man.
They're still probably going to kill the Archon regardless.
Oh, whoops. A little bit miscontrol there. The Lings go after the... they do get the Templar.
All right, so now Mana's all in. He's like, just got to go for broke. He's down 100 supply, though. I don't know how much damage this could possibly do.
GG, he's not even going to try it. And it looks like Team Liquid winning another game in the capable hands of Liquid.